Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to talk about the Battlefield 2042 trailer because it looks downright amazing. There is so much cool stuff going on in the trailer. Battlefield 2042 is looking very hype for me, and it looks like a true sequel to Battlefield 4, which I could not possibly be more excited about. There's so much stuff to break down, but first, I just want to show you the raw trailer in its entirety. I don't know about you guys, but that one got me properly hyped and excited in a way that I haven't felt about games in quite a long time, so it is now time for the analysis part of this video. In the very beginning, in the Ural Mountains scene where they're shooting down an Osprey, you can see in the bottom it says game engine footage. That is not footage of gameplay like you would expect to see while you're playing the game, but rather this is footage rendered with the in-game engine. One of the first things you'll notice right off the bat is throughout the trailer there's a lot of use of wingsuits, kind of like Call of Duty Blackout, and they pop them all the time when jumping off the buildings, perhaps a little bit more so than parachutes, yet in other scenes you will also see people parachuting. My impression of this is that you're going to have a wingsuit parachute hybrid system, a little bit like Blackout and Warzone if you smush the two together. So you're going to be able to jump off of a building and wingsuit glide, but you're probably still going to have to pull your parachute for landing. I don't think you're going to be able to Blackout slam into the ground and be fine. The game is set in 2042, so there are lots of futuristic cities and tech, but not too futuristic. Like this city you see very early on, it kind of looks like a Star Trek future city, or maybe like one of those model cities that you see in China or Singapore. It's not perfect, but it is much nicer than what we have now. The Boston Dynamics robot dog Spot makes an appearance, or at least a militarized version of him, and instead of being the non-lethal support like Carry the Ammo robot, he has a nice machine gun mounted on his head, so he's properly lethal. And even though Boston Dynamics promised not to make lethal robots, this is kind of a logical progression of warfare. And I imagine that other countries will try to develop technology a lot like this. And as a little attention to detail, I love the little sensor that he has next to the gun, kind of like he's a small battleship, and it lets the turret auto-target. Not a lot of games include that. They add lasers and stuff for cosmetic effect, but the little dome-shaped sensor is more realistic. There's a pretty long scene on the boat map where they're going from cargo container to cargo container that's honestly a little boring in my opinion, but at the end where they do the stab and dog tag grab, that's really cool. That is a nice touch for the game because that's been a gameplay staple for a long time. When you get the melee kill, the execution, you stab them, you collect their tags, you can collect rare tags. There were even like rare Battlefield employees and DICE employees and influencer tags that you could grab in BF4 and BF1. So it's nice to see that little teaser that that's coming back. I think the ice map looks really cool from a cosmetic aesthetic standpoint. Like it looks like it's going to be a fun place to fight, and I think it would be hilarious if you would run and build up momentum on the ice and have to slide to stop. I'd love to see people like slide off the cliff and stuff. But what's more important is that it does appear to have armored hovercrafts, which is always a fun vehicle. It's one of the last ones they added in the Battlefield 4 expansion packs. And the hovercrafts appear to be fighting electric tanks, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if Elon Musk is going to be manufacturing the batteries for these in the future, but it honestly looks like a Cybertruck. However, it's not a Cybertruck. It is a real-life tank that you can buy. Diesel Frost sent me a link to the website. It's called the Ripsaw F4, and apparently you can just buy this thing today if you want an ice tank. I don't quite have enough YouTube money for that one. The island/Pacific looking map is centered around a spaceship launch, which looks super cool to me. And not a lot of details on this one, but it does look like you can drive a vehicle up close to it. You can fight on the launch pad. I kind of get the impression it feels like the boat map from Battlefield 4 where the boat would smash in. I feel like at some point the spaceship takes off and clears the launch pad and everybody gets fried. Or perhaps it's sort of a central point of the map where you fight over if the spaceship launches or not, and that's your victory condition. The future Shanghai looks really cool. It kind of looks like the bright neon future Shanghai or China that you saw in the new Godzilla vs. Kong movie. I think this is very like China appeal kind of thing. It looks super nice. It looks super fancy. I love the orange, pink, like sort of retro wave night setting. I think it's going to be super fun to fight on. And the helicopter battles that you have in the city were really well done too. The ATV versus helicopter scene was supposed to be really hype. I kind of expected it to be a J-word Jeep that we can no longer say on YouTube, but it had the exact same energy as the Blackout reveal trailer. It was like, hey, copy my homework, but don't make it too similar because we'll get in trouble. It's a little bit copy in there. And perhaps the most hype part of the trailer was the jet swap trick. Straight out of a Battlefield 4 montage. I don't think the devs even thought this was possible. This was literally like a community meme thing to do, like quickscoping. And it seems like they put it in the trailer and made a gameplay feature out of it, which shows incredible attention to detail, and honestly, it was just really hyped. And then the very last thing that you'll see in the trailer, probably the funny moment for the trailer, is that there does appear to be levelution on the map. A gigantic tornado hits downtown and begins sucking up and destroying everything, which does line up with the rumors about levelution being in the game. But the fun part is that you get to see some guys try to escape in a little tut-tut. So it's like in a little electric, maybe even automated cab or something. And it's really good to see that the DICE Battlefield team is bringing back some of the silly vehicles like the ski loader and the tut-tut and the horses and their funnier stuff. So I cannot wait to try to drive by people out of this sad, small 3-wheel electric car. And I am actually going to try to drive it into the tornado to see what happens when the game fully comes out. My overall impressions of this trailer is that it looks super good. I'm praying to God that the game plays half this well. Battlefield had a really rough launch with Battlefield 5 with a lot of non-functional features in the game, and the only thing that I want from them is to deliver the things that I saw in this trailer in a functional manner, and that's it. If the game functions half as good as the trailer looks, I think it's going to be a banger of a year for Battlefield. Guys, that is all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.